Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time once again to delve into the realm of Steve Jackson's Sorcery. Now, this time, I think I've got a few options available to me. I could try to explore the treasure vault, which is somewhere here in the central courtyard, probably underneath the statue. Or I could try and get a guard uniform. Now, this building looks like a good place to search for guards. Alternatively, there may be a guard I could isolate somewhere in this square with this large crowd of people, although a large crowd of people is a large group of witnesses. I could obviously come up here and use a spell to become invisible, then the guard dogs would detect me. I could try teleporting. I don't know how far I'd get, and I may still be seen. So I feel that acquiring the uniform of a guard would be to my advantage. Now, do I desperately want to get into the treasure vault? Not really. Not unless it can give me something really useful that will help me complete my quest, such as information on which spells to use against the crown. But I will try casting a spell. Ooh. Far. Sure. You sit cross-legged on the ground and put your palms on the orb of crystal. Looking to the stars, you craft the magic and everything changes. This is a room filled with skeletons who crawl over one another with a terrible clacking and knocking of bones. Above them hangs a dark, dripping shape. Oh, this I need. I'll look up. You look up at the shape and see an enormous ruined eye staring back. Water pools from an oversized tongue, sparkling as it falls. The vision fades. Damn it. I was hoping I could learn what spell I'm supposed to cast in there. Let's do it again. And try the turn away option. Uh-oh. You sit cross-legged on the ground and put your palms on the orb. You spin the starlight into a pattern around you and everything changes. A trio of birdmen watch you with narrowed, suspicious eyes, but you can see it is they who have a secret to protect. The vision fades. There are guards patrolling frequently even here. You will have to be careful to blend in, especially with the Citadel on alert. I'll look at the central statue to see if there's anything new here. Nothing new, the same description as before. I mean, I strongly suspect that casting any spell here. Tell. Wait. How? Let's avoid a how. I don't see a dead person to restore to life. Speak all languages. Now, I do remember rap being good against mental domination, so maybe that'll be useful against the crown. But why would that be useful here? Sap. Sus. Let's avoid any stamina draining spells for now. So we got Doc, obviously. Anything else? No. So Yap or Tell? I'm going to go with Yap. You weave the enchantment, but nothing in particular happens. There are no animals nearby to communicate with. No matter the time, the square is bustling. Mampang is isolated but active. Look, I'm going to go for tell. Just in case it really helps. Oh! You weave the enchantment, pulling on the cloth skullcap as the magic takes hold. From all around the square come a multitude of thoughts. You concentrate to pick one out. A nearby monk is shaking with fear. "Oh, those red eyes," he murmurs to himself. "They are God-fearing, but I fear them." You remove the cap once more. No matter the weather, the square is crowded. So I have learned this myself personally before, but that's a good way to pick up that information. I'll make a move. One new clue which I already knew. Let's head towards this archway and this building. You stroll through... Bleh! You stroll through the archway into a well-appointed empty courtyard. You step into the central courtyard that fills this enclosure. The place is blessedly quiet, with several routes leading in out of it. A dome looks up to the sky, where you spot the occasional birdman flying overhead. A fountain plays in the centre of the courtyard. The water from the fountain plays merrily over several stone statues set into the centre of the bowl. Arching satyrs, weeping maidens, aged men, head-butting orcs. It must tell some legend, but what that legend might be has clearly been lost to time and the wearing water. A few brightly feathered birds flap past overhead. This little square is most comfortable. Possibly a trap. I think I drank from water before and it didn't go well. I'll move on. A door leads out to the main square of the inner city, but there are several other doors leading off from the courtyard. One is posted Nylock. Now, this room is a death trap, so we'll avoid that one. Nylock's shop. I doubt there'll be a guard uniform for sale, and we can't afford it even if there is. Guard's room. A side chamber. Then we have this darkened hallway, which appears to lead to these stairs, which come out round here and down here, with more stairs going down and down, deep below, a passageway leading out here. There might be some kind of treasure down here, but for now, if we play a monk blundering in here, hopefully we don't get into too much trouble. You approach the guard's room. The guard turns to you with narrowed, unfriendly eyes. "What?" "Can I ask you a question?" "Your question, you ask?" She frowns. "Why?" "Oh, it's a woman, okay. You seem quite intelligent." She shakes her head. "I'm an idiot, and I know it." With that, she waves you away. You head back to the courtyard. I wonder, a lone isolated guard could be overpowered, and I could claim the uniform. Claiming there's a thief in the courtyard could cause her to go out and leave me alone there unattended for a little while. I'm not sure that's a good idea either. So guard room, guard post rather than guard barracks. You step out into the courtyard once more. For once, the sun is shining in Mampang. It is refreshing to feel the warmth on your face. Which way now? Let's have a look in here. You slip into a small side room. Inside are a pile of crates in a side room which are marked with the seal of Khare. I'll look at the crates. If I'm going to open one, I'll at least look at them first. There are several stacked crates, each bearing the official mark of Khare's first noble. What are they doing here? Obvious collusion. A few large empty crates lie undisturbed in the back of the room. If I open a sealed crate, that'll be loud and could attract attention. And if I open an empty crate, there's not much point unless I'm going to hide something inside it. No, I'm not going to do either of those things. You leave the crates behind and return to the courtyard. Now, we were warned that Nylock is a mean, nasty person, and her shop will have things that we could afford if we had money, which we do not have. I wonder if it's possible to proceed without a guard's uniform, using spells, because it should not be absolutely necessary. I may be able to sell some things here, but I doubt it, as I wasn't able to sell much outside. At the far end of the courtyard is a gloomy hallway. It seems like a strange addition to the otherwise clean merchant's quarter. Let's go this way, and we see trouble. You emerge into a small dirt-filled room. There is an untidy pile of timber in the centre and a door at the far end. So either the ceiling fell in, they're hiding a pit trap on the floor, it's oddly piled in the middle, hasn't been shoved to the edges. You cross the room and rattle the handle of the far door, but it doesn't turn. Is it locked? I'll step away from the door. Most likely this door is closed for good reason. As far as you can see, the only thing in the room is the pile of wood in the middle of the floor. The timber looks half rotten. It is covered in curious black splotches. So oil or something. I'll kick the pile. You kick the pile aside, not trusting the look of the rot. You find only bare floor underneath. I'll go have a look at the door again. I'm not going to kick the door down. I'll look at it though. The door is heavy wood, tightly joined, and yet from between its planks a thick oil seems to ooze. Just like the planks in the middle of the floor, I'll walk away. If I try and beat that door down, I could get covered in the oil and that could be a problem. I mean, I'd leave oily footsteps wherever I go, I'd be easily tracked, I could catch fire. Just backing away from the door. This was not the way to go. You return up the gloomy hallway. I suppose I'm going to have to head outside. At the worst, I could go tackle the guards at the bottom of the rise and try casting a spell. You step out into the courtyard once more. The fountain trickles and spits delightfully. I'm not going to go into Nylock's shop because I don't have the money. You return to the east side of the bustling square. The arch to the merchant's building leads away here. An alley runs past it. A pillory sits to the north of here. The blazing sun cannot seem to warm this place. I wonder if I should have fought the guard outside. Wait, I fought a guard outside the gates. I didn't get anything then, so you should cross the square or explore the fringes. I'm going back this way where I may meet Red Eyes again. You make your way along the alley. A lane leads off. The sun is beginning to lower and the air begins to cool. You must keep going. I can probably rest in there, to be honest. If I need to. You follow the road to a junction where a collection of nestled, winding alleys lead away. The wind picks up as the evening draws on. Soon it will be dark once more. So where now? This way. You pass by the alleys and follow the road as it heads towards the rising wall of Mampang. After a while, the path opens out into a stony clearing. Guards walk this way and that across the space. Oh, look at the people. The people in the square are moving this way and that, seemingly without purpose. They all seem quite concerned and busy, however. They can move. You could elbow your way through the strange crowds filling the square. You return to the middle of the small square. Guards move this way and that across the area. The sun lowers towards the horizon. In one corner of the square is a tent from which rich smells are rising. The food cellar has a low tent with a cooking stove. A few of the square's wandering populace pause by it to eat before continuing on their endless circuits. This is not a good place to hang around. Clouds rumble as they roll across the dimming sky. It will be night soon. You approach the small kitchen. To one side, a long table is crowded with people eating their meals. The chef bustles through the kitchen. "You're hungry?" he says. "I'll talk to the food cellar." You attract the attention of the chef. "Yes," he demands. "You want to eat?" What are the people here all doing? "Here? Eating. Out in the square, you mean? They're waiting." "What are they waiting for?" "To be needed. If you watch long enough, you'll see them being called away." For what? How long would I have to wait here to be called away? Is the food good? "Best in this part of the city," he replies proudly, before adding, "though that's not saying much." "And what is this part of the city?" "The Eastern Square," he replies, "but it's more like a holding pen." "You ask a lot of questions," the chef observes through narrowed eyes. "Must make you hungry." He waves a hand at his stove. "Something to eat? It's only 8 gold pieces. Oh, if only I had 8 gold pieces. I'll look at the food." The items of the cook. It seems the cook is serving a mysterious cake. It is a bright orange. I'll move away. It's more than you can afford. The chef shrugs. "Suit yourself," he says. You return to the middle of the small square. Guards patrol the flagstones. This is not a good place to hang around. Well then. You return to the edge of the square. The sun has almost set and the sky has turned a deep purple. Soon it'll be dark once more. Guards walk this way and that across the square. Well then. Let's head in this direction. You return to the crossroads near the tangled alleys, into which I believe I shall enter. Where to now? I am not permitted to enter into the alleys. Okay, that's odd. You'll make your way along the alley. A lane leads off. Another night begins. You should find a place to sleep, especially on an empty stomach. You had better sleep when you can next find somewhere safe. Okay, here's a plan. You return to the east side of the bustling square. The arch to the merchant's building leads away here. An alley runs past it. An empty pillory sits to the north of here. So the prisoner has been released. The moon moves slowly across the sky. You could cross the square or explore the fringes. Right, so if I can go back in here and meet a wandering guard patrol, that might work out. Okay, where can I get guard uniform? The barracks is like, I'm not allowed into the barracks. Which is like down here, isn't it? So I can't get to the guards easily. So let's go this way on my way over there. You head south from the square towards the wall. The city is quieter on this side. The moon is gone. The building of the treasurer stands to one side of the road. Well, I'm not going in there again. You make your way along the silent street and into the desolate square. Well, yep, not going near those buildings, so I need to find a way of meeting the guards. In the moonlight, this corner of the square is quiet. A wider road leads west into the run-down area of the city. This is now the dead of night. There's a warehouse there I can sleep in. You walk west out of the square, following a wide road. It passes by the monastery gate. The cold night lingers on. You are back by the old building. It seems to be closed for the night. What, the monastery, or... The monastery is closed for the night. Very well. You should try to find somewhere to sleep. Indeed I should. Near the door to the fields. During the past day you found one new clue. The Archmage is still looking for you. Well, bother. The road curves along the edge of a tall stone wall, eventually reaching the door to the wheat fields. It must be morning by now. You have been awake all night and are weaker for it. There is no time to waste. We'll see about that. You continue along the road. The sun breaks over the eastern wall. You pass a side street leading off into a maze of smaller streets and alleys. Right. You walk down a narrow street lined by low warehouses. You catch the scent of grain as you pass one. The early morning sun makes the air glow. As you turn a slight corner, you spy 3 guards walking towards you, one dressed in the finery of a captain. Distracted by conversation, they have yet to spot you. Now, this could be my opportunity. Keep walking towards them. Right, hide in a warehouse. We'll get out of the way. Turn around. Should make them suspicious. We'll need to turn the light. Just about. I've done this before, haven't I? Yeah. Damn it. That's no good. Did I lose my chance? Am I going to have this encounter again? Look at the buildings. Suddenly a door bursts open next to you. It's Rani, of course, again. Rani? The woman narrows her eyes. Do I know you? We've met. She shakes her head. I don't think we have. Are you in trouble? Oh, you're going to the vaults. She looks at you startled. Keep talking, she replies. You're after the crown of kings. I can help you. She laughs and begins to pad towards you. You think so, do you? But as Rani is advancing on you, the nearby door bursts open. A group of goblins spill out, tripping over each other. There she is! One of them points at Rani. And she's got a friend! The goblins charge forwards. You will quickly be surrounded. Right, well, I'll cast a spell. I could run and leave her to... That's almost as bad as pushing her into her arms. Sure. Gack it, I think. No gack? Ah, gack. Consulting the constellations above, you bind the spell, pulling the black face mask out of your pack and putting it on your face. The goblins cower at your visage and several of them flee outright. You're left with only a small number to engage and no longer have to worry about a stab in the back. So, I can go in heavy and hard. That'll be a bit much, and I'm looking at trying to deal 7 damage. So, if I cut it back to about a 6... Oh, damn it, he defended. The goblin rushes towards you. You set your stance and swing with a fast sweeping blow, aiming to injure the monster before it is ready. The goblin jumps back, quaking with fear. The fight rages on around you, Rani cutting down goblins left and right. The monster's chipped weapon is a poor match against your own. It growls and hisses, so he's getting a bit more aggressive. I go like a 4.3. I go about a 5. Oh! So glad I didn't go for that 4.3. Following the creature, you leap forward and push your blade into its neck. The goblin has its sword up for a full assault, leaving itself vulnerable. The goblin is weakened. It flails its dagger. It flails with its dagger, so... I think I want to defend. Okay, I'm glad I did, because I'm not sure I would have beaten it there. On instinct, you drop back, eyeing the goblin carefully. It launches a half-hearted attack with its weapon, but you push it aside. The creature tracks you intently, so if I go about a 5.1. Oh, damn it, he's defending again. A lot of these seem aggressive in their full-on defense. Then you are leading the fight. Keeping your weight steady, you swipe to one side. Fortuitously, the goblin's sword takes some of the impact. The monster's stumpy weapon is no match against your own. The goblin eyeballs you intently. I'll go like a 1. Yes. Goblins tumble over each other, some harrowing Rani, others simply fighting each other in the chaos. You hit the goblin with a quick cut on the skull. It moves and races back across the passage. The goblin is almost defeated. The creature growls and stamps its feet onto the passage floor, and I go all in. So I'm thinking that by having spoken to her about her goal, I may have intrigued her enough for her to want to stick around a while after the fight. Otherwise she'll just have legged it again. You maintain the pressure on the goblin. You bring your blade up and slash for its head. You have defeated the goblin. Decent enough. And has she run? Yes, she has. The goblins are now in disarray. The survivors have retreated, but in the confusion, Rani has disappeared. The wily pirate has slipped away and is determined to steal the crown of kings for herself. You turn to return down the street. So, 5 points, I pray for the 6 healing. How am I going to get a guard uniform? You enter the side street where you encountered the trio of guards, who now appear to be long gone. Oh, that's a bother, that's a bother, that's a bother. Nothing interesting in the... Look, okay. Go back in this warehouse. You slip into the warehouse. Inside, plenty of empty space, some of it lined with straw. The interior is quiet and dark. You head for the door once more. Right, so nothing of use in there right now. Ah, it's the bloody marketplace, isn't it? I think I'm stuck in a loop here. You pick your way through broken buildings and through the wreckage of fallen homes. It seems the city once housed a lot more people than it does now. Perhaps its life is simply ebbing away. Across the ruins you can make out the stalls and tents of a bustling market. A few clouds drift across the sky. Now, ideally, the best way for me to get a guard's uniform would be to find a dead guard that I didn't rob or kill. Because stealing it from a washing line or a wardrobe or something would be equally bad. You emerge from the ruins of a house into the edge of the market. The market is busy with traders and stalls, a city in miniature. The market is not as large as those you encountered in Khare, but still it bustles with life. Even in Mampang, people need to go about their day. I don't really have the money. So let's avoid the marketplace for now. You head away from a maze of stalls and shops, but which way now? I can't go to the middle? Interesting. Well then. This section is dominated by a wide road that leads upwards towards the inner tower. Guards flank the way, scowling at anyone who gets too close. Nearby you also spy a pillory with a lone prisoner shackled in. Oh, did they take him out for the night? Put him in a prison cell perhaps to rest? They should have just left him there in the cold. The bustling market is in full swing further north. The sun has reached its highest point now. Now I can go back to the middle again. So I feel maybe I could cast spells here at night. Dock was available, Dop wasn't. Far was a good spell. What else here was potentially useful? And it wants me to go back to there, to the whale. And the only two spells that might have been useful were Rock or the other RO spell, both of which require limited ingredients. Okay, it's time to live dangerously. We can always rewind, right? You walk across the square towards the paved lane on the north side. Unlike most of the roads in Mampang, it is clean and sparsely populated. It curves around the mountain on which the Archmage's tower stands, climbing slowly. You're into the hottest hours of the day, and yet this place is still cold. A few yards from the square, a group of guards blocks the road. They stand sharp and to attention, sheltering in the shade of a nearby hut. Two of them hold snarling dogs on chains. The dogs are a problem because they can smell. Look at the tower, look at the road, look at the guards. Not the guard hut. If I look at the tower, they'll be like, what are you looking at up there? Look at the road, again, arouse suspicion. Look at the guards, they're right in front of me. They'll expect me to look at them. Even though they'd expect me to look at the tower as well, but then they could blame me. So this is the least blameworthy. You take a moment to watch the guards. They stand in a huddle, watching the road to the south. You might be able to slip around the hut and take the road beyond without being seen. I doubt it. Especially with the dogs. You will have to move. If you stand here too long, you will attract attention. That is a slip around the hut. I could try. Okay. Is there a very good reason why I should not do this? Like there's some kind of slime eater behind the hut and the guards all know it, so that's why they let people slip around it. They're like watching this place. If I could go around behind the hut, I could maybe then cast a spell. It does feel dishonourable, though. And if I get past this group of guards here, I still have to get past more guards up here. This is a group of guards, so I probably can't tackle them. I need to try and get a lone guard on their own. And that will not be easy. Okay, let's try it. You walk up to greet the guards. The nearest comes out to greet you with a growl. Well, the guard snaps. I'm not going to cast a spell right in front of them. Why are there so many guards? You ask. To stop the likes of you from coming past, she replies stubbornly. Very well, I'll turn back. You nod your thanks meekly. There seems no way past. You head back towards the square. I mean, I could try sneak around the back of the hut. The sun is beginning to lower and the air begins to cool already? Damn. So I can't go back there without heading off to one of these locations first. Let's look at my spell options again. So, resurrection, not a good idea. Rap, no. I mean, that's not the animal language one, is it? That's Yap. Okay. How? How am I supposed to click that W game? I don't need a safe passage. I need a special secret passage. Far is good here. The ability to lighten myself might come... Why would that be useful here? Unless I want to climb to the top of a statue, which would draw a lot of attention to myself. Sus. I mean, this is Mampang. There's danger all around. I don't need to make people depressed. Let's go rap. It might pick up something. Grabbing the wig from your pack, you pull it onto your head and weave the spell. You discreetly follow a small group of goblins as they wander the square and listen to their chatter. I heard the Master of Taxes is changing her gauntlet, one says. Really? The nobility must be getting bored, another responds. But maybe this time it'll be easier, eh? Let's keep listening. Shove off! You'd still be killed, the first goblin says. What's the good of it anyway? Demands the second. They say there's another world in there, but it can't be, can it? They continue arguing, soon turning into a street. No matter. No matter the day, the square is full. I'll look around. Many people here are simply passing through, but several are browsing the market on the west side. You also spot several guards to the north clustered around a road that leads to upwards. No matter the time, the square is populated. I've made virtually no progress this episode. Literally, I'm back where I started. This edge of this tower looked odd. Like it was separate. This has not been a very compelling episode, I'm afraid. Right. Can I... pick a fight? You stroll through the archway into a well-appointed empty courtyard once again. You step out into the central courtyard. You hear the tramp of guard boots past the front of the building. Well then. Which way now? I can't go in there. I can't go into the guard post. Well, that's a bother, isn't it? It is possible the crates in here contain guard uniforms. Return to the small side room. I'll open a sealed crate. The crates are nailed shut, but you manage to slip your assassin's sword between two boards. You pry off the lid. Inside are stacks of magical armor, the kind you saw used in Khare by Vic's army of werewolves. How could they possibly be here? And if it's here, is Vic here too? I hope not. But... you saw several sets of lupine armor up close during your time in Khare. This looks similar, though perhaps not as well made. Not a guard uniform, then. You open one of the large crates. Empty and roomy, it occurs to you that you could hide your monk's habit in one of the boxes for use later. Why would I do that? I mean, if I have nothing to change into, I mean, I could just take it off, literally, right? I don't need to stash it here for later use. Or do I have to actually stash it to be able to pick up a suit of armor? You put the monk's habit carefully into the crate at the back of the room. Hello? You're now out of your disguise once more. Look in the crate of disguises. Okay, got it. You put on the monk's habit, so I can literally store all disguises here. You leave the crate behind and return to the courtyard, so I can't put on the monk's, the guard's armor. You step out into the courtyard once more. A strange moan issues from somewhere below. That would be behind the oily door. And probably dangerous. You look around the courtyard, but there isn't much to see beyond the fountain and the benches that surround it. The doors are a mixture of shops and storage rooms. Which way now? I can't go in there during the night. Better head back outside. You return to the east side of the bustling square. The arch to the merchant's building leads away from here. An alley runs past it. A pillory sits to the north of here. Or rather, the stocks. The sun is now in the lowest quarter of the sky, and I'm afraid I think I'm going to have to leave this episode here. I know, not the best, but certainly far from the worst. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I do. Look forward to seeing you all in the very next one. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, and cheerio, everyone. See you all soon.